So a little behind the scenes stuff showing you how the sausage is made. We wanted to begin the review with a musical number. What immediately popped into my head was Paradise City. We were like, how can we get that song? We could phone Guns N' Roses representatives. So we did. So I actually phoned them, and it's just Axl Rose. Can we use your Guns N' Roses song? Would that be a cool thing to do? Actual proper contact. They said no. And they said, because you slated Arkham Horror. And I said, actually, Axl Rose, we didn't slate Arkham Horror. That's a common misconception. What actually happened is we said, the game's quite good and we've had some fun with it, but it has problems. It's a very nuanced review, Axl Rose. It's a very nuanced review, and you have to actually, pay attention to the words that he hung up. So then it was Oasis, because it's dice-based game, and I was like, roll with it. So I phoned Oasis and said, can we use roll with it? And they were like, yeah, we'd love to be in your board game show. And I was like, that's great, we'd love to have you involved. And they're like, which celebrities are you going to have on this time? What are you talking about? We don't have celebrities on our show. And they went, yeah, you do, like other people out of Star Trek and stuff. So I hung up that one, and then at that point I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. So Live and Let Die, which is actually originally by Wings. Phone Paul McCartney, obviously he was always available. Yep, happy to be in the thing. Have opinions about Dice City. And I was like, that's great. I didn't really want your opinions. I just want your music, Paul McCartney. And he went, no, I want to be intimately involved in every part of the creative process. The words were exchanged, and the long story shortened is, I can't go near Paul McCartney ever again. But Dice City? A thing that I really like about this game is how quickly I can explain it to people. It takes seconds. It takes a manner of seconds. How many seconds? Well, why not just scientifically actually just time the amount of seconds that it takes to explain the fundamentals of Dice City? Let's do that now. See what happens. Go. Okay. You roll dice, and depending upon the colour and the number that you roll, you assign them to a space on your player tableau here, which starts off empty, but you gradually put things on it. You gain resources according to what you roll, like one of several different flavours of chocolate or something, or maybe you gain victory points, which is how you win the game. Or maybe you trigger something that causes you to have a re-roll, or perhaps even combos with another building, who knows. Anyway, you have this tableau in front of you with different things in. The resources that you roll up, you can use those to buy stuff from the tableau, like this barracks Obama. Don't know why I made that joke. And then you put them down, and then if you happen to roll them later and not blow them away with your breath, then they trigger and you gradually assemble a tableau this way. The game ends when you have exhausted 2 of these 3 piles of high victory point trade chips that sit over here. One of these piles is just 1 card for 20 points. Or you've used your military buildings to claim all of these bandit cards, which there are some of, but not that many. Or one player has filled up 2 rows, any 2 rows, of their tableau, which is something that could potentially happen just sort of coincidentally, or it could be a thing that you rush towards if you think someone else is winning. But that's, a little bit risky. That's sort of fundamentally just it. 118, I feel that was a lot quicker than that. Alright, fine, there are some details and the devil is kind of in them, I suppose, like resources. You can only keep 1 of each resource between each turn. There's no stockpiling, which means if you want to buy something that's kind of, a bit expensive and cool, you actually need a good economy. You need to generate those resources on your turn, to roll them up before you can grab the thing. Fine, it makes sense. If you want to build good things, you need a good economy. Okay. Then there's this sort of no parking, no access. Don't know if that's going to show up very well, which you might be putting down quite often. These go on buildings to show that the building is currently not able to do its thing, and you have to burn a die, could be any die, to refresh that building. That might be a merchant's guild that is just busy being a merchant's guild, I don't know, or a catapult that's just fired. Some of them make thematic sense, some of them don't. Or it could be a building that was hit by another catapult and damaged by another Right, so I should also explain that players can actually attack each other, and probably will, lots. Now, you can have a nice town where you have a town hall and you have statues and you have manors and you have festivals and marketplaces and people come and visit and they trade all their resources and they're very happy, and you can do that and that's fine and that's nice and you're a nice person. Or you can decide to buy the sometimes actually quite inexpensive military buildings that constantly appear. Fill your tableau with them and then have training camps and watchtowers and armies and catapults. And whenever you roll these, they're going to give you a certain amount of swords, which again you can't carry over, you only spend them on this turn. But those swords can be used to attack neutral bandits, which are great. You claim a neutral bandit card and that's some victory points and put that away. Or they can be used to attack another player. Maybe I've rolled 5 or higher this turn. Oh, I can attack your town hall and disable your town hall. Oh, because you've rolled your dice at the end of your turn, I can see what's going to happen next on your turn and I can find ways to poke holes in your balloon. Now this isn't debilitating, it only knocks a thing out temporarily and someone can burn a die to refresh it, but it's a good way of slowing down other players. If you want to go in a military direction, you score the amount of victory points for the building that you hit, which helps you a lot, and you just stall the other player. And because so many of the military things that you buy are fairly cheap, I mean you can recruit regular armies for just 2 bits of dark chocolate or iron or whatever it is, there's nothing to stop you potentially just filling your board with red cards and going all in. Of course, there's nothing to stop you from doing a bit of both. What's wrong with having, you know, a sort of a modest army and then using that army to occasionally throw a rock at the player next door or just stab somebody opposite you, and then in the meantime you can still turn your forest into lumber mills and put down a cool stables that allows you to move an unused dice to a different location, which might be a town hall, which then allows you to use another location anywhere on the board, or just turn your little houses into manors because they're worth more victory points when you land on those. You can build cool things that occasionally trigger other cool things. It's kind of up to you, although actually I have to say in practice it's usually a good idea to sort of laser focus on one thing or another, you know, really to drive towards that, like Mad Max staring at the horizon. I've not actually seen very many Mad Max films. The thing is, whatever you're doing, it's just fun. I don't know how to explain this to you, but I like rolling dice and seeing what I'm gonna get this time. Oh, I've got some army. My storehouse is gonna allow me to do extra things with resources this turn. I got some iron out of a cave. Don't know what that is. Whatever you do, you're always pulling this lever on a slot machine and you're always winning something. There's always a reward. The thing is, you get to constantly reprogram that slot machine, and while you only really ever get one reward and, you know, a few little nudges along the way, you throw in all kinds of, it's like a tombola, right? You know what that is, but you put more things in the tombola and then you pull them out again. Look, I would enjoy that. Things are sometimes obviously just a good upgrade. A lumber mill is always a better upgrade than plain old forest. A quarry is always better than a mountain. It's the fact that sometimes you have to just get rid of something. You're going to raise something, whether that's an army or a resource or someone's nice little house. You're always potentially losing something. Maybe even something that you previously put down. I like that. It's hard choices. It makes you sit there and think, do I want that cave? Well, how bizarre. I don't know why I just did that. Well, as you can probably tell, I'm pretty excited about Dice City. I don't think it's perfect. I think it has some problems. Mainly, I guess the military side of things doesn't quite work out as powerful as possibly it should. I do get the feeling that just going the economy route, building up a more powerful engine and then scoring lots of points nearer the climax of the game just seems to always work better. And also the start of the game is just a lot more solo play. It's not one of those games where you just look at your own player board the whole time and sort of narrate your own turn, spend time with yourself. But it begins that way, because whatever you start with is mostly not interactive, and it's only later on that you start to poke and prod at each other. If you're actually going that way, if you're all playing relatively safe and friendly, then yeah, there isn't that much player interaction. And that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Still, I feel... What? Wait, what? Oh. Machikoro. You're a dice city building game, yes, and you would... But there could only be one of the two of you. I couldn't recommend you both. How would you possibly set... Oh.
Good evening and welcome to the world's first ever board game boxing world championship. Before the night is out, one box is going to walk out of this ring a champion. The other will be pulled. The atmosphere here is electric. Let's check out the contenders. In the white corner, we have this category's reigning champion, Machikoro, weighing in at 1 pound. In the orange corner, we have the challenger, fresh and young, Dice City, weighing an astounding 2 pounds. Both boxers are looking fired, and we are just waiting for the opening bell. There it is! Koro in there with the early hits, fast and hard, so aggressive, so soon. City is just wearing this punishment, barely showing a dent. And that's a heavy hit! City in there high and quick. That was well tough. The bell! There's the bell! Round 1 is over. Both boxers have now had a chance to size each other up. They're going to be looking for holes in each other's defenses. Both are snappy, quick fighters, and I don't think this is going to be a long bout. There's the bell! Koro right out of the corner and going in. But City has a good understanding of measure here. There's a block, another block, a jab. They're both showing a lot of good art and cute angles. This is such a tight fight. Koro coming back again there, but it's the same moves over and over. They're not getting through as City ducks and weaves, always trying new moves. There it is, the killer strike from Dice City. Oh my goodness, what a match. Tired and repetitive in comparison, Machikoro just could not compete. We've got a new kid on the block, and its name is Dice City.
Well, I guess that's it. Sharpen Sit Down recommends Dice City. I mean, it's a winner and recommends it over Machikoro. Well done, well done. So there you have it. Dice City is as easy to grasp as Noodles, and yet it offers as many possible combinations as Noodles. So much to do, so much to try. And the thing is, even though it's a game based around randomness, it nevertheless rewards good play, the way that any decent board game should. At the end of a game, the winner gets to feel like they have played well, and everyone else has to go away and feel like a failure and take a long, hard look at their life, think about who they are and really where they're going and what they've done. It's kind of wonderful. Alright, basically, I just needed to end the thing. Quinns isn't watching now. There's an expansion which just adds gold as like an extra resource you can make and then invest in things, which allows a few different buildings, which is pretty good, or to pay for more powerful armies. Works quite nicely, integrates well, and it just gives you like a few extra things that you can build. It's a good little expansion. It's cheap.
You don't have an expansion in there, do you?
Found it. Just run now. Run.
Hey, do you have an expansion in there? Hey, Paul, you have an expansion in there. Paul, listen, you listening? You have an expansion in there, right? You've got this weird feeling. Paul, do you have an expansion? Paul, do you have an expansion? Do you have an expansion in there? Paul.